Vanessa, I need to start things off by saying congratulations on winning your third straight league title with Lyon, which is an incredible achievement. And just when you look back on the season, I know this just seems like such a formality of a question because there are so many intangibles that have to come together to create a winning season. But what do you remember the most about this last year's journey?
Thank you. First of all, I think winning trophies is probably the most fun you'll ever have in a career. So I don't take that for granted, even though I'm at Lyon and it's become kind of a standard, and like the minimum to lift trophies. What I'll remember most, I think this year, football wise, it was very hard. Like confidence wise, and getting rhythm and really feeling good on the field. It's been really hard for me this year, and I think a few of us at Lyon would say the same thing. But on the flip side, I think when it's not going well on the pitch, off the pitch, is when we really get together. And I think socially and getting closer to my teammates, having incredible moments off the pitch, and really feeling heard in that way, I think it was probably one of the most fun years I've had in that way in my career. So what I'll remember is lifting the trophy, but also getting close to some teammates and getting to know them on a much deeper level, which was really fun.
Well, let's talk about this next chapter though now, because you recently signed with Bayern Munich through 2028. Move over Alphonso Davies. We got another Canadian in the house. So, what inspired you to make this move? And I don't know if you have any goals yet of what you hope to achieve.
Yeah, what inspired me to make this move? I think that's multifaceted. There's a lot of reasons why Bayern really attracted me. I think firstly, if you followed anything from the World Sevens, Soccer Sevens this past week, I think you see a team with incredible culture. You see a team that really enjoys being around each other. You see a team that really loves winning. And you see a team that plays collectively. I think that's something that really meshes with my personality and something that excites me to be a part of. Obviously, Bayern Munich is one of the biggest clubs in the world, so that speaks for itself. Like I said, lifting trophies, it's a team that's proven to do that over the past few years. And over the years, you could see a new level every single year that they're pushing to get towards. And so I want to be a part of a team that's always striving to be better and to lift trophies, because like I said, that's really fun. My old coach from Bordeaux, who was the assistant coach at the time, but Jose Barcala is probably one of the most prominent coaches that I've had in my career. And I don't think I've ever enjoyed football as much or really felt as confident on the ball as I have whenever I played under him.
Well, change is scary. It's kind of like being, comfortable being uncomfortable and always challenging yourself. And you've also never shied away of voicing your opinion on things. And obviously, you've been very vocal about not wanting to return to the United States, obviously, given the current political climate. So you stay in Europe. Like how right does it feel to continue to stay in Europe? Yes, it's another challenge because you're going to another place in Europe and it's a whole new language and everything as well. But just how right does that feel?
Yeah, huge. I think I like to think I'm somebody who follows my word, and I obviously stated it privately, but publicly as well, that going back to the US was not an option for me at this time. And I want to also credit Angel City for how they've really respected my wishes and have worked with me to make this move possible. They've been incredible. Obviously, it's sad for me to also leave Angel City, who is, in terms of women's football and what they're giving to the game and how much they're investing in making, pushing football forward in the US, is something that also aligns with my values. But in terms of the geopolitical climate and how much my parents would really been disappointed me if I had gone back at this moment, I think it just makes sense. Am I saying I'm never going to go back? Absolutely not. I think the NWSL is a fantastic league. I think every year they're pushing the boundaries and just elevating what, in terms of women's football, in terms of a league financially, is possible. And I think it's exciting. I obviously follow the league. I have a lot of friends and teammates who play there, and I love watching them play. I love following the league as well, the competitiveness, how it's growing. And one day, hopefully, maybe, I'll be able to play back in North America, whether that's Canada or the US, but that is definitely not today or in the next 3 years.
Well, let's bring it closer to home because I think a lot of people would love to see you in the Northern Super League. But you do have 4 players who are in camp right now who ply their trade in the NSL. And
Yeah.
this is everything we've talked about, right? Was this domestic league being able to develop players, but also make them available for the national team, and with four of them being in camp with you right now. I'm not sure if you've been able to catch any games. I know you're pretty busy, but I'm just wondering how that even just feels to have players in the NSL with you in camp.
Yeah, it's huge. I haven't been able to catch any games live yet. I'll be home for the off season a little bit in July, so I will definitely be making my way to the games that I can be there for. The whole concept of the NSL and having players in camp playing there right now is huge. You know, I think a lot of people maybe had their doubts about what the level would be like having a professional league in Canada, how hard it would be with the travel. You know, obviously it's a league with 6 teams, so what that would look like, the competitiveness with 6 teams, where are we going to get the players, and the fact that we can prove we have Canadian players who have the level to play professionally is shown by the fact that they're in camp right now. It was like, what are we, 6th in the world right now? So I think it's huge. I think I love seeing young players come up, like Holly right now, playing for Vancouver, coming into camp and showing that she has the level day in and day out. Is huge. Getting our player pool bigger, Casey talks a lot about it. At the age of 29 now, I absolutely see the value of it. And so I think it's huge. Obviously, it's a new league, so internationally, I think the more it's grown and the more you can show that it is a viable league for players to come play in, that's huge. We have our part of responsibility as well. As players, talking about it, talking to the media, like presenting ourselves, showing ourselves around the league, because we also need to attract. Obviously, it's an opportunity for homegrown players to develop and play, but we also need to attract internationally. And that's been exciting as well, seeing teams be able to recruit outside of Canada. I know there's Charlotte Bidbo at Montreal. I'm talking to a few teammates as well who, you know, are being contacted by teams and who are actually considering them as options, you know, for player. I'm not going to name names, but players of their staff. Yeah, absolutely huge for the league if they were to go there. And I think that's going to be vital as well moving forward to elevate that level.
Okay, well, now you got us excited. But before we say goodbye to you, you are going to be saying goodbye to Desiree Scott, somebody who does play in the NSL, obviously this farewell game in Winnipeg. Just maybe some stories or just what she's meant to you and the national team.
Yeah, Desiree Scott. I think obviously everybody calls her the Destroyer. She's earned that nickname, that title. On the pitch, she's absolutely massive. Just to be that rock in the middle that dictates tempo and that just denies everything. But off the pitch, she's couldn't be the more opposite of that nickname. And I think as a leader, that's something that I will never take for granted, because when you play at the highest level, having leaders that make you feel seen and heard and make you feel appreciated and valued, there's not that many in the world that have that skill and that ability to be so empathetic to everybody and treat everybody like they mean a lot. And Desi, from day one, no matter who you are, has that personality to do it and has that skill as a leader. And so that's what I think I miss the most, having her around camp every day. She's also probably my biggest public when I make jokes and look for a good laugh. In terms of stories, she has a smile on her face day in, day out, and regardless of her circumstances going on the pitch or off the pitch. But she's always there for others, and I think that's huge as a leader and something that it's dearly missed here.
Well, it's wonderful to hear those things. Vanessa, really appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.